In this problem, we have a graph, and so what we'll do is answer all these questions. And what you can do is pause the video, look at the graph, and then look at each one of these questions, answer them, and then I'll explain them. Okay, so we'll go through it step by step. So part A. So what this means, f of negative 2, what it means is it plugged in negative 2 for the x. It plugged in negative 2 as x. Now it's asking what is y. So it plugged in negative 2, now it's asking what is y. Well, actually, there's no number for y because this is a vertical asymptote. Therefore, there's no number. So therefore, the answer for this is actually does not exist. This does not exist. So the next one, you have the limit as x approaches negative 2. And so what you do for this one is you look at it. And so for a limit to exist, it has to exist on the left and right, and both numbers have to match. So we look at this, and from the left, it's approaching negative infinity, right? Because it never touches negative 2. Because as it's approaching negative 2, a limit is supposed to approach a y number, and this never approaches a y number. Therefore, you say it's infinity, negative infinity. Here, once again, it's approaching negative 2, but it never actually approaches a y number, so therefore it's going to positive infinity. Therefore, from the left, it's negative infinity. From the right, it's positive infinity. Therefore, this limit does not exist. So, this limit does not exist. Next, we have f evaluated at 0. So, see, these are limits, so you have to evaluate it from the left and right. But when it's just this, it just means plug in that and see if it exists. So this is f of 0. So it said like x is 0, okay? So x is 0, what is the y? Here is a open circle. If it's an open circle, that means it's a hole. That means that at that point, there's actually not a y number. So here, though, it's a closed circle. So that means there is a number at this point. So if you evaluate it, that means that x is 0. It's asking you, is there a y point? And yes, there is. It's 3. So this one will be 3. The next one is limit as x approaches 0. So now we look at it as the limit as approaches 0. So as it approaches x, the x point 0, we're looking for the y. We're looking for a y from the left and right. It has to match. Already looking, we can tell that it's not going to be a limit because they're separated. There's no way it can be a limit. So from the left, it's approaching 2. From the right, it's approaching 3. So therefore, this limit does not exist. So here we have f of 2. This is f evaluated at 2. So what we do is just plug in 2, so it's 2, and it's asking what is the y point at x. So the y point at 2, well actually since there's a hole, there is no point. Therefore, it does not exist. So this does not exist. Here it's the limit as x approaches 2 f of x. Here they ask the limit, so you you show from the left and from the right. So as it approaches 2 from the x, what y value is it approaching? From the left, the y value it's approaching is 2. From here, the y value it's approaching is 2. So that means the left and right are both approaching 2. So this limit approaches 2. This limit approaches 2. The next one is f of 4. F evaluated at 4. So it's saying when it plugs in x equals 4, when it plugs in the number as x, which is 4, what is the y? Well, you just go across, because here's the point, you go across and it's 0. So this one is 0. Here, the limit as x approaches 4, f of x, so we look at it, as x approaches 4, we look at it from the left, it's approaching infinity because as it approaches x from 4, we look at what y value is it approaching. Well, it's not. It's actually it just keeps going up, so it's approaching infinity. Over here, we look for the y value. It's not actually approaching 1, so it also goes to infinity. So even though they both go to infinity, the definition of the limit says that it has to be a number. It can't be infinity. So therefore, this one also, the limit does not exist. So I hope that helped, and thanks for watching.